Welcome to Miskolc. Welcome to the last stage of this year's Tour of Hungary. 184 kilometers and more than 2,700 meters of altitude difference on the last stage of Tour of Hungary. After seeing this beautiful postcard from the start host city, Miskolc, we're gonna see a little bit of graphics of the menu today. It was categorized one climb at Gyöngyös-Kékestető, then intermediate sprint at Eger, then entering a local lap at the place of Sirok, where we had an first intermediate sprint at Matrafured, and another intermediate sprint at Matrafured, topping it with the Gyöngyös-Kékestető uphill finish, who will probably, as most of the times, decide the champion and the winner of the general classification at this year's Tour of Hungary. You've seen this beautiful TV tower and the only that can be called ski resort of Kékestető. These are the pictures from the helicopter at the Miskolc. Miskolc, who is a third biggest city of Hungary. Let us see how it looked this morning at the signing. You've seen those images from the start at Miskolc, and these are the Palmares. These are the last 6 or 7 winners of Tour of Hungary. Damien Howson, Attila Walter, Chris Nylens, Manuel Belletti, Daniel Jaramillo, then winner of 2017. When Tadej Pogačar, the two-time Tour de France winner, finished on the podium the same year that Daniel Jaramillo, the Colombian rider, finished as a winner. You've seen the yellow jersey of Fabio Jakobsen on the official signing, along with Rudy Barbier from Israel Premier Tech, who was substituting Fabio Jakobsen in the green jersey, the points classification. And this is Aaron van Hoekeko, who, even before the start of this last stage, Queen stage of this year's Tour of Hungary, secured the win in the mountains classification. The only thing that was needed to be done by Aaron van Hoekeko was to come safely in one piece at the finish line at Kékestető. This is the start of the capital, in the capital of the Borsod county. During 9 decades, the city hosted the stage start of the finish, or more precisely, 33 times was involved at Miskolc in the history of Tour of Hungary. This is the beautiful Lila Füred Palace. Talked so many times about this palace in the Miskolc nearby. This is now the head of the race that was that counted at those moments 6-man break. The beautiful Lake Hamori, just aside from that the Lila Füred Palace that we saw earlier. The most mountainous region of Hungary, very close to the Slovakian border. And we'll see that De La Valle from Giotti Vittoria was the first person to cross the Gyöngyös-Kékestető first category climb and take the 10 points in front of Jens Reinders, Marengo, Pfingst, and the rest of the guys present in today's breakaway. This is the famous Buc observatory. And this is how it looked some 140 kilometers till the end. That 6-man breakaway group had 1 minute and 6 of time gap in front of the big group. And we could see Yosu Aspilicueta Echeverria going to bridge over to the big group, to the breakaway group, I would say. Could see almost all day long Ryan Mullen, the Irish national champion, in the team kit of Bora Hansgrohe in the front. This was the well-organized breakaway group, consisted of riders from the Hungarian national team, also rider from Giotti Vittoria, Sport Vlaanderen Baloise, Eolo Kometa, but it was the Giotti Vittorias de la Valle who took the maximum points on the Eger intermediate sprint. Exactly like this, in front of Adam Karl and Jens Reinders. Could see a very effective way to cool down your cyclist responsible for the work on the front for the team Bora Hansgrohe. Really nice nice images of Ryan Mullen, the also grateful co-equipier of Bora Hansgrohe, while we watching the yellow jersey of Fabio Jakobsen. Everything was well controlled and in contention. There was 2 more intermediate sprints to be taken. 2 more opportunities for Rudy Barbier to make a difference and to grab some valuable points in that points classification. That was Dina Marton, white jersey for the best rider in the general, best Hungarian rider in the general classification. This is the famous Sirok Castle, or at least the leftovers of this incredible construction. Now, once more, another attack from the big group. Another rider from human-powered health. That was Nathan Brown, the most experienced rider in the US Pro Continental team. You could see some 33 seconds of gap to bridge for Nathan Brown. And Jens Reinders contests and wins all the maximum points available on the second intermediate sprint at Matterford. This is Nathan Brown, who managed to bridge over to the breakaway group. As you can see, Jens Reinders, Adam Karl and Nicolas Dalla Valle were the riders who split the points of the second intermediate sprint. This is one of the 2 ski lifts that we can find at Matterhasa, highest mountain of Hungary. This is also the view and the technical cart of the second category climb at Matterhasa. It was Nicolas Dalla Valle fighting it with Sandroni Giocattoli, Umberto Marengo. Fortunately for Dalla Valle, Marengo was the more successful one at the second KOM of the stage. You could see time gap was kept at 1 minute by the big group behind. This very, very rolling, hilly stage. I already said 2,751 meters of altitude difference on today's stage. Karolyi Castle at Paradsasvar. Once retreat for the Hungarian aristocracy. Nowadays touristic and visiting site for this region. One of the stops, one of the many stops of and tourist interest points in this region. Soon enough, we entered the local lap around the Matrahaza mountain, and we could see the first victims of today's breakaway. Nathan Brown, the American who spent so much energy to bridge over to the breakaway group, could not follow the tempo and the wheels of his colleagues from the front group. Again, Dalla Valle attacks and tries to revive the tempo and the rhythm, and the thumbs up for the well-mood and well-animated Jakobsen, Fabio Jakobsen. And at the end we had Dalla Valle and Reinsburg, who kept the fight in the breakaway. And then we came close to the third intermediate and last intermediate sprint, with still chances for Rudy Barbier to attack Fabio Jakobsen. But unfortunately, as you can see, Rudy Barbier suffered a crash on this right-hand corner. Soon enough afterwards, Eddie Dunbar managed to get in the way of one of the ELO Kometa riders, who took down another rider from Jumbo Visma after this fall. And Fabio Jakobsen not had any issues or any problems to take the rest of the points that were on offer at the last intermediate sprint at Matrafuret, and just confirms his win in the points classification. This is once again the slow-mo, the repetition of the falls of Rudy Barbier, and then the later incident between the ELO Kometa and Jumbo Visma rider. It didn't influence a lot and you can see now from the front how this fall happened. Luckily, the ELO Kometa rider, who was going head first, had the gloves on, so he could put his hands on the asphalt to at least softens up that fall. Fabio Jakobsen, Patrick Konrad, and Florian Seneschal were the riders who took the maximum points on the rest of the points on the offer on the last intermediate sprint of this year's Tour of Hungary. After that, there was 10 kilometers left, 10 kilometers of climbing. Soon enough, the riders with good climbing legs got in front. And the situation started to develop, although you could see Yevgeny Fedorov here at the front. That was Alessandro Monaco, another rider from Giotti Vittoria, who was sent out on a long-range attack. By his sports director to try out the legs, to try out to do something more. But seeing Monaco's form on the bike and how fast he was losing that initial time gap that was not going more than 15, 16 seconds. It was clear that this attack would be posted and rolled back in by the big group that was coming really fast from the behind. That fast tempo of the big group meant that a lot of the riders in the back that couldn't follow the tempo just drift back. Was at these moments Adria Mobile put 3 of their men at the front, chasing Alessandro Monaco. This brave move by Monaco continued, but was inevitable to happen. That the big group will cut him up. And at the moment when they reached Monaco and when the Kékestető climb started, 10.6 kilometers, 5.3 average, maximum of 22.4 gradient. The Adria Mobile guys just backed off and left the work to the big guys, to the big guns from the World Tour teams. This was Aron van Pucke. Who did a great job and really deservingly wins the mountains classification, although he didn't contest this uphill finish. soon enough, after all that work done by Ryan Mullen. Bora Hansgrohe sends another of their men in front, working for Lucas Postelberger or Patrick Conrad. Also, we could see Chris Nylands there close to the front, riding beside Eddie Dunbar. Eddie Dunbar, also one of the favorites for today's finish. Chris Nylands, a former winner of the general classification, but also former winner on Kékestető in 2019. Really strong tempo by the three riders of Bora Hansgrohe, but still not so strong to disintegrate the big group in the front. There was still a lot of riders from the teams present who could help out their leaders. There were the two Sport Vlaanderen Baloise riders, Alpecin Phoenix, Bora Hansgrohe. It was a real mind game at these moments from all of the teams, and guessing game who will start the first attack, and not just who but also when. It was the best moment to attack and to make that attack sustainable, of course. The only thing that Bora Hansgrohe managed to do was to string out a little bit this front group, but not yet, and not sufficiently strong for the riders to start dropping off. Some 3 kilometers till the end. We will enter the last part of the climb at Kékestető. The riders already passed in the former lap, in the previous lap, through that point where the penultimate KOM could be found. And then some 3.1 kilometers till the end. There was a hard ride just aside from the famous Hungarian Olympic preparation center at Matterhasa, where the most difficult gradients of this climb will start. And soon enough we could see Ben Turner, who had a phenomenal spring season, classic season, where we saw him working tirelessly, hours and kilometers of time for Ineos Grenadiers classics specialist. This is the point that I was referring to. This is that hard right corner where they hit the last 3.5 kilometers of the climb, and the most difficult ones, certainly. And Ben Turner making it even more difficult for the rest of the guys, the rest of the group. As you can see what that atomic attack produced. Well, a lot of cyclists that were definitely not being able to follow that. It was Ben Turner working for Eddie Dunbar. Eddie Dunbar, this year's winner of Coppi Bartali. Such a sudden and dangerous move by Yevgeny Fedorov. You could see that even Dina Martin was struggling. The Hungarian leader of the best Hungarian rider in the general classification, wearer of the white jersey. Ben Turner still dropping that hammer, and suddenly we could see some big splits in the and distancing in the big group. Yet still followed by some dangerous riders. When I refer dangerous, I refer to riders who are good climbers. Can easily follow this incredible tempo set by Ben Turner. Ben Turner really did it like his former colleague, now member of Jumbo-Visma, Rowan Dennis. Absolutely comparable effort and work from Ben Turner to the miniatures that Rowan Dennis had leading out for Theo Geoghegan-Hart when he won the Giro d'Italia 2 years ago. That's how it looked today in these last kilometers from Ben Turner working for Eddie Dunbar. And 2 kilometers to go. It was almost like pinpoint place for Eddie Dunbar to attack. He really went strong and fast, pressing those pedals, and almost surprising at the beginning the rest of the group. although it was evident that the main attack will come from the second rider of that group from Ineos Grenadiers. There were a couple of riders that managed to regroup themselves after that attack. Eddie Dunbar looked pretty determined and strong in these moments, but the hardest part of the climb was yet to come. You could see the struggle of Patrick Conrad here, along with one of the Israel Premier Tech guys. This is how it looked at the back. That was Chris Nylands also, who was trying to regroup, who was trying to work out his tempo, his sustainable tempo until the end. His 1,200 meters. But suddenly, Eddie Dunbar started to suffer on these difficult parts of the climb, and Antonio Tiberi, the young Italian of Trek Segafredo, went to hunt him. It didn't look like Eddie Dunbar could be threatened by anyone from the behind. Really showed a face of determination, but there was Trek Segafredo rider Tibieri who just found a good tempo, found his rhythm, just started to distance from the guys at the behind, and then he had in his reach Eddie Dunbar, the Irishman from Ineos Grenadiers. Then the Norwegian Hagen showed up also among the contenders. It was the Oscar Rodriguez from Team Movistar that was also closing in on Eddie Dunbar and Antonio Tiberi. It looked like this was a job done by Eddie Dunbar, 500 meters till the end. While we watch Oscar Rodriguez also here. Oscar Rodriguez, Garey Coetzea from Team Movistar. And there were 2 corners left and 200 meters for Eddie Dunbar. He already started almost to celebrate. People were almost sure, and I was sure, that he will not be threatened, but then Antonio Tiberi had a different opinion. Eddie Dunbar was starting to fell off. He saw how close was Tiberi, and Tiberi gives that last shot, last stroke of energy, and manages to overcome Eddie Dunbar just a few meters before the finish line, and destroys the hope of a young Irish rider from Ineos Grenadiers. And Antonio Tiberi becomes the hero of Kékestető on this Tour of Hungary 2022. Like so many years before this, another incredible battle at Kékestető. And what a win. What a win by Antonio Tibieri. And what a disappointment for Eddie Dunbar, who at least had the comfort that he will finish as first in the general classification. And you could see the celebration of Trek Segafredo rider, who was just going in, finding out that his colleague won the race. Let's see once again that replay of the attack of Eddie Dunbar and how much damage it did. And it looked like he already had the victory in his pocket. It was 200 meters to go. And you could see he started really to suffer. Tibieri brought that speed that he had from on and wins it in a phenomenal style. Not just wins it, but he also had the time to raise his hands, zips his shirt and cross the line with a raised hands and with the celebration. That's deserving for the winner of the stage number 5, the stage uphill finish at Kékestető. We see now just the confirmation and graphic of the classification. It's Antonio Tibieri in front of Dunbar, Rodriguez, Battistella, Sambanini, Hagen, Egg, Nilets, Conrad, Charming. Let's hear from the winner.
How did you manage to chase down Eddie and win in the last few meters?
All day I don't feel so good. I start well, but after 1 hour I start to feel not very good. And I stay in the peloton all the day with the guys. In the start of the climb, I was very behind and I don't feel good. But after, I start to move up with the guys. In the finish, when Dunbar attack, I was behind, but I also try to move up, and I passed the whole guy, and I catch the Dunbar the last, I think, 50 meters, but I do the climb full gas.
Tibieri on the top of the podium of this stage winner of this last stage. Let's hear now from Eddie Dunbar, the winner of the general classification. And probably the biggest disappointment of today's finish at Kékestető. This was just a confirmation of the win of Eddie Dunbar in the general classification. And let's hear now from Eddie.
Eddie, second GC victory of the season, but yeah, you lost the stage. What are the feelings now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm happy to win GC, but I really wanted to win the stage today. But it was just, I don't know, was it 40 meters too long, I think. But look, it would have been nice just to finish it off with the good job that all the guys did today, you know. Ben, Kim, Elia and Andra, they all rode super well, and it would have been nice just to get the hands in the air, but I think we can be happy with the GC victory today.
The second place in Movistar team, Oscar Rodriguez, and the winner of the yellow jersey is Edward.
We're seeing now the graphic for the final points classification. Fabio Jakobsen triumphs with 5-point lead in front of Rudy Barbier, and deservingly wears the green jersey at the end of this fifth stage. This is the mountain classification with Aron van Pucke as the most deserving winner of the red jersey reserved for the mountains classification winner.
The red
Congratulations to the 25-year-old Belgian from Bruges. And in the best Hungarian rider classification, another white jersey for Martondina. Another success for the young rider from Budapest who rides for Iolo Kometa. And now we see the final podium of Tour of Hungary 2022. With this picture, we'll finish our broadcast. My name is Svedozar Pavlovic. I wish you a very good night.